สบายดีอีกครั้งหนึ่งท่านผู้ฟังที่ฟังอยู่วิทยุอาจจะตกใจเป็นอย่างนี้มื้อนี้เจด้าคือสบายดี2ครั้งมื้อนี้ถือว่าเป็นมื้อที่พิเศษท่านผู้ฟังในโมงนี้เลย5:30 จนฮอด 6:00 นเฮาได้เกียรติอันสูงสุดจากเอกอัครราชทูตอังกฤษประจำลาวเพิ่นจะมาโอ้ล้มนำเฮาใน30นาทีนี้ฉะนั้นในรายการของเฮา Let's Speak English Today ใน30นาทีนี้เฮาจะสนทนาโอ้ล้มกันเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเนาะสำหรับมื้อนี้ข้าพเจ้านี่ดีเจด้าจะมีการโอ้ล้มถามเพิ่นเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของประสบการณ์เพิ่นที่ว่าเพิ่นอยู่ลาวมาเว้าถึงเรื่องว่าอันใดที่เพิ่นมากที่สุดอันใดเป็น most memorable moments ของเพิ่นในประเทศลาวเดี๋ยวเฮามาล้มกันบ่ซ่าท่านผู้ฟัง I'm gonna switch my language to English so I would say that I'm very nervous super excited and feel honored to having our guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome the British Ambassador to Laos PDO. สบายดี
ขอบใจ Such a warm welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very pleased to be here today, Dada. I feel especially honored to be doing this interview on my last full working day in Laos after 4 amazing years in this incredible country.Wow, thank you so much for your time, for coming and joining us today. I know that it's not a very long time, like 30 minutes, but I know like you're willing to join us. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, first of all, we want you to introduce yourself a little bit, like who you are. Are there anything that you want our listeners out there want to know more about you? Please. Well, thank you for that opportunity.I have been a member of my country's diplomatic foreign service for many years.
Yes.
I have served in many different countries, but I started my professional life as a research specialist on Asia, parts of Asia, including South and Southeast Asia.So I have been working in our service since the 1980s. So I've been around a very long time.
Wow.
Kontaleo, as I think you say in Laos. I've had a wonderful career, but there is no doubt that becoming ambassador to the Lao People's Democratic Republic has been the culmination of a really enjoyable professional life.I have been in Laos since 2015.
15, so 4 years
it's
now.
It's a 4 year, yeah. Our tours are normally 3 or 4 years, so I have been very happy to stay for the full 4-year tour. And I will leave with really very, very happy memories of all the fantastic things I've been able to do and the amazing people I have met while I have been
here.Speaking your experiences in Laos, since you have working here for 4 years already, I'm sure that there are so many moments, so many things that happened to you during your time in Laos. So what was your most memorable moments in Laos?
Well, there are so many. It is hard to choose. But let me pick 2. One is as a professional moment, you might say, as ambassador, we have, like other embassies in Lao PDR and indeed embassies anywhere in the world, we have once a year a National Day reception. For the UK, we call it the Queen's Birthday Party, for the obvious reason that our head of state is Queen Elizabeth II. And we usually do this celebration event in June. And we always have a theme.for it. And this year our theme was women's empowerment and women's achievements. And I think it was the memorable moment was after giving my speech in which I had talked about a number of specific women who had made a major contribution to public life in Laos, most of whom were actually Lao citizens themselves. It was actually then having those women up on stage next to me to be introduced to the audience. I just think visually it was a very powerful moment and very humbling for me to realize that I was with people who really in some cases had given their entire lives to improve opportunities in Laos in different fields, in education, in culture, as in NGOs, there was one who specializes in the UXO sector, the unexploded ordnance sector, for example. So that was just really, really powerful. And I was so glad that we as an embassy were able to celebrate women's achievements. But I suppose personally, the one that really strikes me is going with some fellow ambassadors to Tat Luang to give alms to the Kuba, to the monks in the morning, and sitting with them actually to talk with them in our not very good Lao was a really humbling moment when you realize that the Kuba, they're quite young, at least the ones that we were sitting with, they were there partly to get an education. Some of them came from families perhaps with not too much money, but they were leading a spiritual life, and they were learning English and other subjects. And I was really taken, I was really overwhelmed actually by their sense of humbleness, but also their determination to self-educate, you might say. So it was really a powerful moment.
Wow, that's very amazing. I'm sure that there are so many moments that live in your heart, but that's the two moments that you choose for us the most memorable moments. And what if you go back to UK, and if British people ask you what are the things that they should do or they have to do in Laos, what are your suggestions about that?
Well, I mean, there are the obvious sort of tourism things to do in Laos, I think, that people would come here for. So it's, for example, going to Luang Prabang because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's a beautiful town, wonderful people again. Van Vieng is a place for younger people maybe to chill out a bit. So there are the obvious things, but in terms of things I would actually recommend, number one is actually attend the Basi. Because I think not many tourists get to do that and get to see that. But actually it is one of the most distinctive traditions in Laos. I've never encountered anything like that anywhere else, although there are many hospitable cultures around the world, but this is a very unique custom, I think, to Laos. And I was very struck when I arrived to be given this Basi and to have this special bands, the special, and the blessings that come with it, and it was really very charming. And I think it's not a tradition that's well known internationally in the way that traditions of some other countries are well known. So I think that's definitely something I would highlight. I think some of the festivals as well are amazing. In the UK we have an annual event between our two most famous universities, Oxford and Cambridge. They have a boat race. So it's well known in the UK, but what's less well known, I think, to people in the UK is that they have these wonderful boat races here as well. They have it in Luang Prabang, they have it in other towns, but they also have it in Vientiane.
Yes.
And when we had a member of our royal family visit privately last year in October, Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice came for a week actually to Luang Prabang and to Vientiane. She was the guest of His Excellency the Governor of Vientiane capital for the boat race, because she just happened to be here that week. And she told me afterwards, just how amazing it was, this kind of spectacular colours and the excitement of the crowd. And I thought it was an amazing event too. And I think, it's a very again, it's a very unique custom. Well, not quite unique, but it's a distinctive custom. I know it's shared a bit with Thailand, of Pi Mai. Yes, and never having got so wet before in my life. So that's quite a distinctive culture, and is a nice opportunity to see Lao society really relax for 3 years. Because I'd spent some previous time in India, and they have a kind of a similar event there called Holi, which is again it's one day in the year where people get to sort of relax and be a little bit different perhaps from where they would normally be. And here it had echoes of that when I first encountered Mai. But again, what comes through is that the strong sort of spiritual sense, because people go to the temple to pray, but then also have a lot of fun afterwards, and it's a very, very family event. So I really enjoyed that. And I suppose other things that I think people should try to experience here are some of the products of Laos. So I've really enjoyed going to a coffee plantation, sampling the delicious coffee here. Laos isn't a major producer of coffee in terms of international sales, but actually the quality that it produces is very high, and I think deserves to be sold and exported around the world, because it is very, very high grade coffee, for example. And also I think the clothing here, again, there are some wonderful women's fashions around the world, but the scene is actually really, really quite outstanding.
Very unique.
And I've been very happy to be associated in a minor way with the Lao Fashion Week, which is now quite a well-established event in Laos, and it's been a really good platform for people to see the talent of young Lao designers, and we were very pleased last year to have facilitated a sponsorship arrangement with a British university in Vietnam that specializes in fashion design for, I think it was 1 or 2 Lao designers to go and receive some formal training there. So that's the kind of thing I think, so when tourists come to Laos, is to go to a clothing shop and have a look at what is available.
Wow.
Because it's not well known in the way, like, for example, I think most people in the UK would probably know that the Indian fashion garment is called a sari. They've seen it because there's a big Indian community in the UK, for example. There's not such a big Lao community there, so Laos isn't so well known, but I think this is the kind of thing when people visit that they should come and see.
And try.
It's very striking when you see formal events. The women's fashions are quite something, I think.
Wow, I'm so proud. I'm so proud as the Lao people that as Falang, as British people, you mentioned all the things that all Lao people are so proud of, and I'm very happy that you suggest and you mentioned the festival, the coffee, our customs, our clothing, and everything that to other people. It's a top thing that we so proud of as a Lao people, and I'm very happy that you mentioned about that. Thank you for mentioning about that.
Well,
so speaking of your working life, so working life, 4 years of working in Laos, I'm sure there are so many challenges happen in your working life here. So could you please mention a little bit about what were your challenges of working in Laos?
Well, it's interesting. I suppose the British Embassy is a bit different from other embassies here in the sense that we've had diplomatic relations with Laos for a very long time, actually, for more than 60 years. But for various reasons, we didn't have an embassy here from 1985 until 2012, nor did Laos in the UK either. And so we only re-established our diplomatic missions recently in both of our countries. So we have an embassy which is quite small, quite new, where we've basically had to try to catch up, I think, with some of our other diplomatic counterparts here in terms of our profile, building our presence, expanding our networks, as you will. So I think that's been that sense of having to kind of rebuild a profile after a long time, after a long absence, I think has been a key professional challenge. Also, I mean, one of the things that we are very interested in Laos and with the ASEAN region more generally is the commercial potential. We do want British business to take advantage of the opportunities. We do want to encourage ASEAN countries and other countries to trade with the UK as well, and especially as the UK will be entering a new period in its history with the Brexit situation. So we're very keen to be building our relations across the board, but ASEAN is a particular priority and the member states. And I think one of the issues here, again, because we were not here for a long time, was that, again, British business was not well known in the Lao market. I'm very pleased that we now have a British business group which has a membership of over 100. Given that it was only formally registered as a business association last year, I think that's a significant advance. But there's much more to do on that side. So I would hope that in the years to come that there will be many more British companies coming to trade and invest in Laos. We are, as an embassy, as a government, very supportive of His Excellency, the Prime Minister's business reform efforts in Laos. We would like to see Laos opening up to the rest of the world. We'd like to see that progress accelerating in the years ahead. So certainly Laos can rest assured that the UK will strongly support that effort, because again we believe that will also help to help Laos in its development, and because Laos has been doing very well in terms of its economic growth in recent years, but also to build the bilateral commercial links with our country. So we're very excited about that. But in terms of challenges, there are other challenges as well. I mean, one is that, as ambassador, I get taken everywhere by car, but I actually like to walk. And in this heat, it's not always that easy to walk. So it tends to be in the morning or the evening when things are a little cooler that I can actually walk around, and I really like doing that. And in Vientiane, because it's a relatively small city compared with some other cities in Asia, it's actually a really nice city to walk around in. But I don't get the opportunity to do that as much as I would like.
Oh. Sad. Did you get a chance to walk along the Mekong Riverside?
I have done, yes. And I really enjoy that. Again, it's when I do that, I see the potential for further development in Laos, particularly in terms of the tourism side of things, where we are again very interested. I think there's a lot of tourism potential in Laos to attract many more tourists in the future, and I see that there's been new hotels opening, new restaurants, some of them by British people, and definitely I want to encourage more than that. In fact, I was in a bar come restaurant on the Mekong recently, and really enjoying a meal in there that was a combination of Lao food and some traditional British dishes like fish and chips. So I thought that was quite an interesting experience. Very good.
Wow, so many things that happened during your time in Laos. And what about the future plan, though? Future plan of the British embassies in terms of youth development in Laos?
Well, that's a really important priority there. For us, that's what we call soft power has been at the heart really of our engagement with Lao PDR, with the government and with the people of Lao PDR in the last few years. We've been looking at a number of different things. So we, for example, have an aid project, a very substantial one in the UXO sector, which I mentioned earlier. We are interested in supporting institutional development in Laos. So we have one of our major NGOs in the UK that specialises in strengthening parliamentary government to work with the National Assembly here. The Westminster Foundation is very closely involved, and I'm very proud of that. But also specifically on youth development, I think the key for us has been education. It's been promoting UK to Laos, so it's been about encouraging Lao families to consider sending their children to the UK, and they do. It's partly around our scholarship program, the Achieving program, which is an annual competitive program, scholarship program that is at master's degree level. The next round will begin on the 5th of August, so if you're interested, please do come forward, and we do want to widen the net as wide as possible. So we are very interested in having applications from women and men, from people in Vientiane and all across the country from every social background. So please do apply. But we're also very keen to support educational development in Laos, and a personal priority for me has been to work with Her Excellency Madam Sengdewan Lakhantabun, the Minister of Education and Sports here, and her team at the Ministry. And I think we have forged a very close partnership. We recently signed an MOU, a bilateral MOU on education cooperation, which I think sets the scene for more cooperation in the future. But just very briefly to say that among the achievements I'm really proud of is getting the first Western university to actually set up a facility here. Nottingham University has set up a small facility within Laos, which is intended to grow in the years ahead and give an opportunity for Laos students to actually experience British education closer to home rather than having to actually go to the UK. And this is a facility that operates in association with the Nottingham University campus in Malaysia. So again, it's raising our profile. But we also have other things. The Wimbledon School of English, for example, which is one of the leading English language colleges in the UK, which I visited recently and met the 2 Laos students who are studying there. They also have opened a branch here, for example. And the Royal Academy of Dance, which is the world's premier ballet teaching organization. And I know there's quite a lot of young people in Laos who are interested in dance. Because they've now set up an operation here which provides the opportunity to take accredited examinations. Talented young Lao dancers can now get a professional qualification, which is recognized anywhere in the world. So we're very excited. These are still quite small steps. There's much more that I would like us to do in the years ahead, and I'm sure that we will do in the years ahead. I'm also very proud of the fact that I met an outstanding young woman when I was in the UK in January with Her Excellency Madam Sengdewan, the Education Minister. We went to Oxford University together. And amongst many other Lao students, outstanding Lao students that we met, but we met the first, what we believe will be the first Lao student, a really outstanding young lady, who we think is going to be the first ever Laos student, or Laos citizen, to get a PhD from Oxford University, which at the moment is a top-ranked university in the world, which is amazing. So I have said to her, when she comes back, we should have a public celebration for her achievement. I think she's just about to graduate. So these are the moments which have been, for me, really, really exciting. And you can be assured that youth development, opening educational opportunities and cultural opportunities for youth will be at the very heart of our mission in the years to come.
Wow, so there are so many activities that British Embassy will do in the near future for supporting the youth development.
Sure.
And of course, the ambassador just mentioned earlier about the scholarship shipping will be open very soon.
And we want everybody who would like to apply, who's at master's level, to do so. And if I could just mention one thing very briefly, we have had approval from the party here to move forward with setting up a Laos UK Friendship Association along the lines of the friendship associations that exist with other countries already here. And we're very excited about this. This will be a project that will go forward after my time here. But that will also have a big youth element built into it. We'd be very happy to hear from your audience, any ideas they have for how we can build that bilateral friendship and how perhaps this new friendship organization can operate. Because we're just at this early planning stages now So anybody who is interested in the UK and wants to contribute in some way, please do get in touch and give us your ideas.
Yeah, so how can they send you the ideas? Facebook page or any
Well, we do have a Facebook page, and that will be definitely one way of doing that. Maybe if they send the ideas to you and you forward them on to us. And we are very pleased also with the excellent cooperation we've had from Laoyouth Radio for our educational initiatives, including a recent educational fair that we had when some British universities came to Laos, as you will remember.
Yes.
And you were great at promoting that event as well. So we are extremely happy to be cooperating with you too.
We are pleased to join that event. It was fun.
But I think responding to our Facebook page will be another way of... Yes, it's called UK in Laos.
UK in Laos,
So I think that's the best way of doing it. I know we also have an Instagram page, but I don't think that perhaps offers quite the same opportunity for interaction. But okay. I have experts on social media who are much more knowledgeable than I am. But certainly our Facebook page is something I'm very proud of, because the number of likes has increased exponentially, hugely in the time that I've been here, which shows, I think, that there is certainly interest in the UK, and we're trying to build interest from the UK here too, and I think this new Friendship Association will be another opportunity to strengthen those links.
Yeah, sure. So for our audiences out there, for our listeners out there, if you have any ideas that you want to share with the British Embassy, or you want to get in touch with the news or the activity that the British Embassy will launch very soon, you can stay tuned on the Facebook page, UK in Laos. Just search on the Facebook page and click like and follow, so everything that you want to know will be there. We will always be there. So what about your life, Ambassador? So what's your plan in your life after this, after your task in Laos?
Well, I have there will be another assignment I'll be doing. I'll be going back to the UK for a little while to prepare. I have a family, 2 daughters, one who is about to graduate from master's program, and the other who actually was in Laos and graduated from here, who is now also in university. So supporting them, again, education for me personally as well as professionally is a very, very, very important subject. So I'm really glad to see them taking advantage of the educational opportunities that are available. But I know that at some point in the future I will be coming back on a visit and seeing how the country is progressing, and certainly staying in contact with all my friends and contacts here. It's been an absolute privilege to be the British Ambassador to Laos. It's been an amazing 4 years. I don't know where those 4 years have gone. They went so quickly. But it's been a hugely enjoyable time.
Please come back to visit us to see how's progressing, how's different in the future. So thank you so much, Ambassador, for coming and sharing with us. I know, like as you say, time flies.
It does.
Time always flies, and our time is almost running out. Before we say goodbye for now, you have anything that you want to say, the final statement for our listeners out there?
Well, let me just give you a little quip. There's a restaurant I like to go to here, which has a number of sort of nice proverbs on the wall, and one is along the lines of what you just said, which is time flies, which is true. But it says the bad news is time flies. The good news is you are the pilot.
Oh, I love
and
that.
Actually, that's really, for me, that's really profound, particularly in the context of education. It's about, if opportunities arrive, please take advantage of them. So I would say to your listeners, and I know it's a youth audience, that we are working really hard with many other institutions. It's not just the British Embassy, and we're working very closely with the Lao government to expand the educational sector here and to open up opportunities for Lao youth. Please do look at those opportunities, and please put yourself forward. Don't be shy. I have been to a number of educational fairs where Lao students have told me we'd love to come, but we don't think our English is perhaps what it should be, and so. But always have a go. Always try, you never know what you can achieve until you do. I never ever thought I would be an ambassador when I was at university, but you just have to seize the opportunities when they come along.
Absolutely true. Time flies, but you are the pilot. I love that. I
wish I could claim it as my original thought, but it's not. It's something I saw on a wall, but it's a good indicator, I think.
It's very strong, and I'm sure that our listeners out there, they can adapt to their daily life. You are the pilot of your plan, so anything you can control your life, grab any opportunities that come to your life. No? So Mooney, thank you so much, Ambassador, again for coming and joining. ขอบใจหลายๆ Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And my last public engagement in Laos, so thank you very much.
ขอบใจสำหรับมื้อนี้เดี๋ยว section นี้เขาได้จบไปแล้วเนาะเดี๋ยวเขาไปหาฟังผลงานเพลงกันก่อนแล้ว break หน้าเขาจะกลับมาอยู่กันเติมสาวรายการ Let's Speak English. See you. Stay tuned.